Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our merry stream. The thing you're seeing right now is obviously the Pale Beast that I worked on. Just a little bit. It's not finished, but it's better than what it was yesterday. I think it's coming together pretty nicely, so I don't know if I will be able to finish it before I leave, but at some point maybe. Anyway, today we're going to continue the other one, which was this. I forgot the name of, but Chase is going to remind us. Hello, Chase.
Hello, the Mabarrel.
Yes, Mabarrel. Okay, so this one is gonna be tackled differently. Obviously, this is gonna be. I think I'm gonna do maybe a little bit of. Well, first I'm gonna do some color bumps. I forgot where the actual speed lines are, and there you go. Okay, something like this. Let's see if I can use either this or yes. I want to downloading. Yes, successfully downloaded. So now I should be able to place it. There you go. That's not bad. Free. Not too bad.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I just have to put it. Let's see. I'm gonna put it here, probably. Something like that. Obviously, the square is the only part. I think I have the impression that restream chat is not working. Let me test it. Cause it's showing 0 people watching, but clearly we are more than 0. Cause it's 3 on YouTube and 5 on Twitch. So now it's working. Sometimes the counter doesn't work, I guess. Anyway. So what can I do for this? So the monster Mabarrel, the Cannon is gonna be purplish maybe. Let's try. I'm gonna get rid of my jacket because man, it was hotter today. So not hot, but hotter, warmer, so that's not too bad. Just forces me to keep switching between.
It's pretty nice here. It's been raining.
Yeah, it was a nice day today, yeah. So not bad. Let's see. As I said yesterday, at some point I also thought I could play, try to play maybe Final Fantasy 14, but I don't think I'm gonna have time before leaving, because we gotta. Well, I want to finish this. I don't know if we're gonna do this. I'm probably gonna do another card tomorrow because I keep saving like stupid cards on my Pinterest. So I've got a few that I can handle.
There's a lot to work with.
Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely. Let's enter this. Maybe here. Maybe it could be. Not yeah, but.
When are you leaving?
Monday or Tuesday. I should, or you know what? I gotta check. Monday or Tuesday. So it's pretty soon. Probably Monday though. I think it is Monday. So it's gonna be a long flight. Long and annoying. Yes, Junkyard Wharf. It works. It seems to work. I don't know. It's just the counter that's broken. I want to try that purple, blue, or something like this. The eyeballs are gonna be first like whitish. With so the ones on the image are yellowish. The ones in the original, the yellowish eyeball. I guess someone with the liver issues. I believe there is something there's some white spots there, but no, you know what? I'm OCD. I want to get rid of them. Get rid. Here and here. Yes. Anyway. So the hair, well, the other horns are kind of brownish. I'm gonna start with this and then see where we go. By the way, Chase, since you're making a game with RPG Maker, I think it was yesterday, I saw a guy in the RPG Maker Reddit who asked how not to make. So what's the worst offender in the quality of your game when you're making an RPG Maker game? I answered using RTP stuff. I don't know if you have a different opinion though. So I think RTP is pretty, like, especially the monsters, is pretty lame. So
I don't know if it's the worst. It's certainly like one of the laziest though, to just, I mean, if you're making a game for commercial purposes, it's different if you're making a game just for personal fun.
obviously,
Do whatever you want. But yeah, if you're making a game to be commercially released and you want to put it on Steam or even perhaps publish it on a console, then yeah, using RTP assets is a little, I don't know, it's amateurish.
yeah.
For me, the worst offender for RPG Maker games are that they're not games. Like, a lot of people don't make games using RPG Maker. They just make like visual novel kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, I just want to tell a story, but I don't actually care about gameplay elements or anything like that. And it's like, well, at that point, don't make a game. Just like write a novel or something, you know, or write a short story. A game is a specific form of media, and so the opportunities that games offer you is the fact that they're interactive. The player interacts with the world, they interact with objects. It's a story, and there's meant to be challenges that the player is supposed to overcome. And if you're just clicking buttons and getting through dialogue and that's it, I mean, at that point, just write something.
Yeah, there's no
you don't
point,
need to
right?
make a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
Sorry for anyone that's a fan of visual novels or anything like that, but I don't really consider them games.
Yeah, it's like an interactive video, basically. I don't know. I think Cheese might be. He was the one always proposing or asking me why I don't play visual novels, or us in his server. So he's a Doki Doki person.
I mean, it's the same thing. You know, we were talking about Omega 1 the other day. And I said Omega 1 is not a movie. And I was being serious with that. It is literally just a compilation of still images put together with some sort of animation effects put over it. But that's not the same as being a movie.
No, it's not.
There's a specific quality of movies. Like, at that point, it's just a PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've never liked PowerPoint. I don't know if it's used in any professional environment. It probably is, but I never could stand
it's used,
PowerPoint.
It's probably, I mean, it's used in schools, but I'm sure like in meetings or whatever, when they're going over, like, you know, you'll have a PowerPoint presentation for, you know, here's what stocks look like for the company this month and whatnot. That's easier to visualize, putting it on graphs and whatnot and displaying it for everyone to see.
I guess it reminds me of bad stuff at school, so I'm not really.
Yeah.
Like,
it's used in it's used in court proceedings. I've seen it used like when people are making, you know, when a lawyer is making a closing argument and they're going through all of the evidence, they'll put like stills of each of the witnesses, or, you know, they'll put like videos that were used in the trial as part of their closing argument, that kind of thing. So, but I'm not a fan of it. Especially in a legal context, because it feels very impersonal. Like you're reading off of slides rather than talking to the people themselves. So there's a bit of like a personal disconnect there.
Right, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's one thing about public speaking, is like, even if you write something to read off of, you want to not look like you're doing that as much as possible, right? Because people, whether rightly or wrongly, when we watch someone like read off of a piece of paper or something like they've prepared, it comes off as scripted as it is, and that affects the naturalness of what you're saying, right? So people will say, okay, yeah, you know, you're making all these points in your argument, but you're reading off of a script, so it doesn't feel genuine to me.
Oh yeah.
Whereas when you start talking off the cuff and you're talking to people directly, they kind of naturally connect to you more when you're talking to them, because it's like, okay, you're speaking from the heart rather than off of a script.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why. So I don't know how it works in the U.S., but all of the interviews with politicians here are scripted. All of them. So if they say, I know because sometimes someone publishes like the raw version of that, and they, as soon as they say something they don't like, oh, I could have said that better, let's redo it, like a retake, and that sucks because you realize these people are all fake. Like everything they say is like scripted. So how can you you get involved with what they say if it comes off as exceedingly fake? It's not possible. I despise them.
Most interviews with people like politicians or celebrities, like you have people that write things for you in advance, and so you kind of go over those before you do your interview. But I mean, you wouldn't do an interview with like the script in front of you, so that like when you're answering questions, you look down to see what answer you should give, because then it's like, okay, this person isn't.
Well, the funny thing is that they totally sound like that, as if they are reading from a script. So since it's not genuine, it's extremely annoying. I don't know, some people are probably not disturbed by it, but I am. I can't suffer that, like seriously.
The reality is that most people are very bad public speakers, and they don't. Yeah. Most people also are lacking in charisma.
Yeah. Honestly, though, yeah.
Yeah, when they're giving answers, they sound very robotic most of the time.
Yeah, but these are like extremely robotic. I would probably have no issue letting an interview go, even if I say something in not super precise manner, as long as it's what I think. Because if I don't know how to say something, maybe I'm not the right person to be elected or whatever. So whatever. If I'm not sure about what I'm doing, maybe I shouldn't be there. Right. That's what I think, at least. That's why I'm not a fan of Italian politics at all. Actually, I despise Italian politics very much. I'm sure there are issues with politics everywhere you go, but ours are very, very, very bad. So, oh well.
Well, I have only a cursory understanding of Italian politics, but as a far-off observer, I feel that a lot of times your politicians argue, but nothing ever really changes for the society at large.
Oh yeah,
so it doesn't really matter.
Like nothing at all, which is extremely upsetting because they keep talking about, we're gonna reform the Constitution or something like that. It's like, okay, what are you gonna do? And they don't know. It's like, whatever, we're going to change something. Yeah, but what? It's not like any change is positive anyway, so what are you going to do? But they don't know. They just don't know.
I know I'm an American, and I like to make fun of Europeans on here sometimes, but that's more like in jest, right? Like I'm just having fun. But it does, I am, even though I'm American, I'm a person that's European ethnically, right? I'm of Irish and Scottish and Welsh descent. And when I see what happens in European countries, especially in modern times, it really, I don't know, it makes me really disappointed to see the trajectory of a lot of European countries, because they're just making such stupid legislative decisions. Like, whenever I look at Germany and the way they're handling like nuclear plants and whatnot, and I'm like, why are you like destroying your future with these decisions that you're making? Or when I look at all these European countries and their immigration laws and whatnot, and I'm just like, I don't have much hope for the future of your countries. And it's really sad too, because there was like a point at which European countries were so innovative, not just technologically, but culturally, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And then you see like, how many major businesses have come out of Europe in like the past 30 years or something? A lot of the most innovative companies, especially like tech companies, are coming from places like America and whatnot. And so you're not seeing like the big industry developing out of those countries that it's not like they're like European countries are lacking intellectual capacity.
Oh no, absolutely. They just leave.
Maybe in terms of the legislative stuff, they are. Maybe some of the people that are running the countries are idiots.
Oh
But
yeah, most of
when
them.
I, but like, I don't know. It's just really sad and disappointing because Europe has such like a great cultural history, and obviously I'm ethnically European in that way, and so seeing what's happened to those countries is just like, you think about like the great things that Greece did in the past. I mean, Greece is where fucking Plato came from, right?
Right,
The
yeah.
guy who wrote the Republic and all of these great intellectual traditions, and then you look at Greece today, and it's just like it makes you so disappointed.
Yeah, it's not the same thing anymore.
And I have a friend who's Greek, and he would totally agree with me on this
Yeah.
issue. He's like, yeah, what happened to Greece is just like pathetic. People living off of the past and not doing anything to look towards the future.
It is disappointing. But I don't think things are gonna change. Why am I getting... Why am I getting yellow here? Something. Why is it yellow? It should be white. This is not complete white. Is this FFFF? It is. Strange. It doesn't look like white. Anyway. I guess, I don't know. Okay, this one is not too bad, but it needs change. Clearly. Anyway, yeah, it's just... It's disturbing. Like, for me, I have trouble working and staying here in this country and supporting the things this country does because it's completely unfair. Like, I'm better off working in Japan because I don't have to pay half of what I earn in taxes. So
Well, your tax laws are just
they're completely insane. I don't understand how people can accept that. And as a matter of fact, they don't. Like the thing you said, like, well, it's not like you don't have the intelligent people that can do this. We do, but they leave. So because like, why would you want to stay here if you cannot thrive, basically?
it's brain drain, right? A lot of those intelligent people, I mean, they don't stay around because a lot of them move to America. America like siphons off the intelligent people because it's like, hey, you can work in this tech sector here in Europe, but if you come to America, you're going to make a load more money and also have a better standard of living as well. And so they're like, why would I stay here and not go there where I can make more money and have a better life?
Very much, yeah. Pretty much.
I saw someone post a job the other day and I was flabbergasted. I don't know if it was true or not, but it was like some sort of position, I think, in the United Kingdom for an AI job. And they were paying like 10 to 15,000 euros a year. And I'm like, what?
Only?
That's what you're
That's
what you're
low
offering
in
for
general.
Dude, come to America. You're gonna make like 70 to 80,000 per year. You're gonna make like way more money if you come here and do that job. It's like, oh, that explains why people come here and don't stay in their home country.
Yeah, well, an argument that can be made is that, well, you also have, like, if you go to San Francisco, for example, you have to pay a lot more for living. So in the end, your buying power is still pretty low, but it's not everywhere like that. Like, not every city is San Francisco, right? If you don't go to California, other places are less expensive, especially if you work for someone so you already got your health insurance covered. I'm assuming. Yeah. If you don't, then
it depends entirely. Yeah, it depends entirely on what you're looking for in terms of your living arrangement. Because I mean, like you said, if you don't want to move to San Francisco or work in Silicon Valley or whatever, that's fine. There are plenty of other positions throughout various areas, and that's the great thing about the U.S. is that pretty much every state is its own country in that way. And so if you like, okay, I don't necessarily like the culture of the state or whatever, I don't like the living standards, but you can move to some place and still have a great living standard. Like even the poorer states are significant.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
there's some really surprising stats I think I've shared before. Like, one of the poorest states in America is Kentucky. Kentucky, I think, still has a higher GDP than the entire country of Germany. So one of the poorest states in America is still doing well relative to Europe.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just about quality of living, at least for me. So it's not really about just how much you earn, but like how how well can you live in a place? And well, if you have to pay everything you earn, or mostly everything you earn, in even just half in taxes, and you're not getting anything back from that, then I guess quality of your living is not gonna be very high. So, and that's true for a lot of places in Europe at this point. So I don't really know how it is in the United States, but here it's not.
My general impression from what I've seen in European countries is like you're not making great money, and the standard of living isn't also that good either for the average person.
Yeah, because again, if you can convert money in goods at a reasonable rate, then there's no problem. Because like maybe you're earning less, but you're also acquiring wealth by buying properties, for example, at a lower price or stuff like that. But it's like here, it's pretty much impossible to buy a home these days. They don't give you a loan, and home prices are just skyrocketing. So it's like, whatever, at that point, why am I even making money if I cannot spend it? I have to give it all to the government, who's not going to give it back to me in any case when I retire. Old people's things. Obviously, but when you
Man, where's Cheese when you need him? He could talk about the living standards of California.
Cheese is where is Cheese? Cheese is not here. Nope.
He might be busy. He wasn't here yesterday either, so.
No.
And I haven't seen him post on private.
He might be busy, yeah. Original. This is a. If I use blue.
You know, the hair of this creature, it feels like very like 90s to me. Like you saw this style with a lot of 90s anime and games and whatnot.
Yeah, I can see that. I can
80s
see
or
that.
90s.
I can see that. I don't know if I want to. I might just skew it towards the orange hue because I don't like the green that much. Decided. This is not too bad looking, but I would like it to be a little more punchy. Okay, a little more like this maybe. Actually, let me take the eyes.
Hey,
yes.
For anyone listening that is interested, apparently the Juilliard School in New York is going to make its graduate program tuition free. So if you're interested, I think they do like dance, drama, and music. So if those are of any interests to you, it's a pretty well-known art conservatory. So
not too bad.
Yeah,
free is always good. So
graduate program for free, yeah.
Free is good. So how does it work? Like I never, because we don't have the same system here, obviously. So how does it work between graduate, undergraduate? So undergraduate is before, right? You gotta do a few years before being able to do graduate.
Undergraduate is what's referred to as a bachelor's degree.
Okay, so just 3 years.
Well, it's usually like 4, but it can be 3 years depending on your credits or whatever.
It's 3 year.
Mine was a little over 4 actually. It was like 4 1/4, but that's because I had terrible guidance in terms of my college director.
So yeah, I mean, like in general, like here it would be undergraduate would be about 3 years, and then you got your doctoral degree or something like that. That's another 2 or something like that. Yeah, which I guess is the what the graduate degree is. But I don't know. I don't understand this stuff since I didn't go to college. Well, I mean, I tried going, but it was not for me. So,
it depends because I mean, you can get a doctorate in certain fields, but there's a difference between like a master's degree and a doctorate degree.
Okay.
So like a master's degree is more, it's like career oriented based on knowledge and skills. Doctorate is more research based degrees. That's using analytical and writing skills for industries.
Okay. Yeah, well, I guess it's different. We have both here. So we have both.
Well, yeah, I mean, you need a master's degree to get a doctorate degree. So you would do the master's after doing the bachelor's, and then if you want to get the doctorate, you do that after the master's.
Let's see. Understood. Action. Just. Where is it? Polarize. What does it do? How do you, oh, I think this is the one that's. This feature. I don't know if I don't want to mess it up. You know what? Let me try. What happens? I don't know. I hope I didn't screw it up. What did it do? Is this the color it applied? It's horrible. Also, why is it a multiply? Those are the colors it applied. I mean, it's not as bad as it could be, I guess. Probably with a grayscale would do a little better. But it sucks, so. I'm gonna keep mine. I don't dislike this. This is actually pretty cool. Maybe I should change the eye color to something. And obviously I need to deepen the shadows. But this is just a silly preview.
Sorry, my internet went out. I was getting ready to make a point, but yeah, you can get a doctorate in pretty much anything. But that can sometimes be misleading to people because you tell someone that you're like a doctor, right? And that gives them an impression that, oh, you know, you work in physiology or something like that, or, you know. And it's like, you know, Joe Biden's wife is a doctor, right? But she's a doctor in education. She's not a doctor in like the healthcare field or whatever.
Yeah, same here. Like we also have doctors who are doctors in other things. So not necessarily.
Yeah, that's kind of controversial here. Like getting a doctoral degree for a profession that's typically traditionally non-doctor. Like a lot of people think, okay, if you're called a doctor, people generally associate that with being like a medical doctor. Like,
yeah,
you know,
usually
if somebody's like dying on the street and you say, I'm a doctor, people are like, oh, so you can help this person? Oh no, I have a doctorate in philosophy. It's like, oh, how's this going to help this person dying? Well, you know, I can tell them about their chances and what's going to happen after they die.
Yeah, that makes sense. That can help. Well, I cannot do anything to save your life, but maybe I can make the passing a little less painful.
I can't patch your physical wounds. I can patch your mental wounds, though.
But it's better than nothing, I guess. Probably. So better than not being able to.
I have a doctorate in English. Let me help this person.
Oh, like, let them say their last words in a very creative, effective manner.
I kneel beside them and start talking about Paradise Lost or whatever.
Oh yeah. I can't wait. Do I even need? Yeah. Too much. What if? Wait, what if? Less. Yeah, maybe it doesn't need to. It's a trap! Hello, Matthews. Also, it makes it too long to say someone you're a medical professional with field experience. I guess. But welcome. Welcome in. Airbrush. Something like that. Or maybe I can restrict this. I can make this smaller. Maybe it's a little better. But try to frame. Okay, so this is how it would look basically. It's not too bad. Maybe it would be better with another color. Trying to figure out what kind of color could go hand in hand with this. Tails. don't want a bit of color variation. So Chase, are you actually a doctor? English?
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I would have called you Dr. Chase.
Be a waste of money. I mean, I'm still paying off my loans for my bachelor's degree, let alone a doctorate, which it's like, okay, yeah, let's add like $80,000 more dollars.
Oh
on top
man,
of
why is it that expensive? Any actual reason why it has to be that expensive?
Oh God, that's a whole conversation.
I know.
The education system in America.
I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable knowing that I have to pay that much. Nowadays that I have pretty much access to all the knowledge I want through the internet. I didn't do it back then, let alone now. Probably no.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that going to school isn't about attaining knowledge; it's about
I
attaining
know.
a career.
Yeah, well,
So it's
piece
like
of
you're
paper,
not getting the degree to make yourself, more cultured or try to broaden your horizons.
Oh yeah, it's just to have
make
the
connections. To get a job.
pretty much. Yeah, right. To get recommendations, basically.
It's like you submit your resume to the employer, doesn't have a degree, rejected.
Yeah, right. That sucks though, because you might be very qualified more than someone with a degree. Like me, I don't really have a degree, but I knew a person who had a degree, not master's, but undergraduate, I guess, 3 years. No, maybe it was even 5 in architecture. For she could not draw 2-point perspective. She had no idea how to do that, which is insane. Because she's an architect, so she should be able to do that. At least technically, like she should know what it is, but she couldn't do that. And that was mind-blowing for me. Like, no, man. Why would I waste my time and my life doing that? Yeah, it's like, well, the answer is, well, look at that. Now you can't really go wherever you want because if you want to go, like in another country, say the United States, you're not considered qualified because you don't have a degree. It's like, well, maybe. Whatever. Maybe I can go there legally. Anyway, everybody is at this point, so... but jokes apart, it's really just for the piece of paper because no, I've not met a single person yet. Well, I guess you're the first one. I meet with a degree who actually has proper knowledge, but I don't think yours is due to the degree. That's the thing. I think yours is just yours. No. So. I've not met a person with a degree that's more qualified than a person without a degree, given the same interests. So, if anything, the opposite.
A lot of people with degrees end up working in fields that have nothing to do with their degrees, right?
Yeah, also, yeah.
I know a guy that got like a degree in computer programming and now he sells cars or whatever. It's like, how did your degree help you get that job?
Probably didn't.
It's really sad.
Sucks,
I actually found a guy that I went to college with. He was in like a couple of my, writing courses or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he and I graduated like the same year. And one day I was like walking through the mall and he was working in like a clothing store or something after getting his degree. And it's like, I mean, I'm not making fun of him. I'm saying that tells you what the worth of that degree is, the same degree that I got. It's like, so we were promised that getting these degrees would help us get, nice jobs, and that's why we took on the debt, and now we're doing like menial labor. Mm-hmm. Which why did we need a degree? We could have gotten this job without going to college, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Only difference is the debt.
Right. Yeah, that's disturbing. It is absolutely disturbing because it's like you're spending all these years in there, and then you get out. It's like, well, what can I do with this now? Nothing. I don't know. What could you do before?
Yeah, I think the entire system is very predatory. But that's an entirely emotionally charged conversation for another day.
I guess. Make these eyeballs.
I mean, look. I know it's like a contentious thing, people talking about, student loan forgiveness and things like that. But you've got to understand, and I'm speaking about America, not the world at large or anything, because this is where the matter is mostly concentrated. But people talk about, if you take the loan, you got to pay it off. It's the same thing as like you're taking on a car loan or taking on a home loan or whatever, that kind of thing. The issue is that with student loans, you can't discharge them through bankruptcy. And that's like if you get a car loan, you can discharge that through bankruptcy.
Really?
If you get a house loan, you can discharge that through bankruptcy. You can't.
Aren't they not gonna take away anything else you have if you go bankrupt? What should they do?
Well, sure, but man, this is a sensitive subject.
Okay. It's okay. We need to talk about. No, I'm just curious. No way to scroll they give you when graduating does not automatically turn into something an online professional. Really? And instead you have to learn by yourself. Well, yeah, pretty much everything. That's my philosophy. I learned pretty much everything I know by myself. Unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know. That's positive or not.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this too much because it becomes a politically charged conversation, and that's not what these streams are for. But yeah, there's a lot that could be said about this. That's why I'm kind of holding my tongue, because I don't want to go off on political rants.
Right. Oh well. Anyway, I brought it up, so.
But no, I mean it's just a terrible situation.
Yeah. It is human eye. Well, I don't want to buy this. Also, because it's too big to be. My eye is not that big, so. I like to understand why white is not white here, though. This is weird. Like the white outside seems white. The white inside doesn't look like white. Why? White. White.
Is something filtering it?
No, there is nothing. So what if I paint? Okay, what if I? See, I paint here. It's white. So what if I take this? Still doesn't look that white to me for some reason. Like it's gotta be the other neighboring colors probably. I don't know if I want to use yellow for these. It doesn't look too bad color-wise. It could probably be a little better. Because the original is really bad. It's already probably better color-wise than the original. But I don't know if I want the. No, I probably don't want the red. I can make this more. That's right. Even more green if I wanted to, but this. Green is not too bad. It's somewhat a complementary of this because I have purples. Yeah, we would end up kind of spectrum here, so maybe I can skew it just a little bit towards the green. And then I guess if I add the glow, well, probably I can just put a glow behind. Well, there is a little bit of glow already, but the glow around it. And no, not here. Here. Anything? You know what? I'm just make it in blur. Control U. White.
A NASA astronaut returned to Earth after spending 371 days in space, a record space flight for an American.
That's for him.
Man,
I would not do it.
I would. That's something I would like to do. I would, even if it's just for like a couple of months. I would like to spend time in space. That's something.
You know, I don't think I would be able to do it. I have this. I get. The thing we mentioned last time that I am not comfortable with heights. If I just think about base jumping from like suborbital areas, I feel like I'm falling even if I'm here. Like if I watch a video like that, I feel really bad. So I don't know why, but
so
I get
be comfortable floating around the station or whatever. Like
I don't know. No, if I just even just talking about it kind of makes me feel like I'm passing out or something. I don't know why. It's pretty bad. but it is like that. So I have no idea why. It wasn't like this in the past. I guess I have a very vivid imagination. I don't know.
What kind of theme parks do you have, like in Italy?
Oh, any kind really.
I was just curious if like you're not big on like theme park rides and things like
Not
that.
really. No, not big.
Yeah.
Not at
I
all.
haven't been one in a long time, but yeah, I think for senior year we went to a theme park, and like one of the rides they had is like where they take the two people and strap them basically on a bungee cord, and they just swing you like a pendulum back and forth.
Yeah.
And I mean, like when reach like the top of the arc when you're going up, you can see like for almost miles, and then you come dropping back down,
Jesus.
and you're really just stuck in a harness with somebody else, and that's all that's carrying you.
I feel like I'm passing out just hearing that.
That's one of those morbid things. It's like, man, imagine if like the cable snapped and you just go, like,
Yeah,
like a
right.
missile.
They
through the
probably
air.
would. Like, it's very. I don't think there's any chance for that to happen, or very low anyway. Still, I don't know if I want to change colors of this. I think it's actually pretty much good to go.
Most American theme parks are usually pretty well kept, but I have seen like videos from other countries of like rides breaking down, and you got like the big spinning one where everyone is like strapped into a seat and like it rotates you
Final
around and
Destination
you go
type
up.
of thing.
Yeah, and then it breaks and everyone comes crashing down.
Jesus, why am I talking about this? Anyway, okay. So Chase, what do you think about this color? Would you change anything? This color scheme?
Nah, I think the green makes a nice contrast to the red and purple. I think it looks
Matthews, what do you think? You're the only other one here. I cannot ask Cheese because he's not here because he's a chicken. So I don't know. I would probably go with this and start rendering this one. It's I think it's a little better than the original. Like what if I put? Let's see if I can put a glow or add glow. Oh.
Yeah, I think this looks better than the original for sure.
That's right. I don't know, something like I want to. I actually probably at some point I'm gonna put like reflection. Something like this.
Yeah, I really like. I mean, I like the more Digimon-esque dynamic like card portraits that you're doing right now. I wish Yu-Gi-Oh would do things like this. Like take monsters you've already made, but like make more dynamic portraits.
Oh, that's what I showed yesterday. Yeah, I'm doing it actually. I've been doing. I did it with the. Did you see it yesterday?
No, I'm saying I wish that Konami, the company,
Oh,
would do this with you.
sorry. Okay. Yeah, that would be. I mean, so, to be fair, some of the Rush Duel cards are kind of like that, or a little better, or considerably better in terms of design.
Yeah, that's a spin-off game, not the main game. I wish they would do this with the main game.
I know, but well, maybe one day.
But they're Japanese and they're adverse to change, so.
Yes, they are. They are. Why is it not merging? There you go. Okay. This is merged. So everything in here is now one single thing. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have merged the line art. In any case, I have it underneath, so it's fine. So let's start rendering happily and merrily. Happy and merry. Merry Christmas. Okay. Save. It's good enough. See, I can finish it. Probably gonna want to use something like this for the droplet. Might get rid of some of these lines, but overall, it's looking pretty decent. Let's see what comes out of this. It's kind of fun to do this sort of exercise, at least for me. I don't know for whoever's watching, but for me, it's been kind of fun. I don't have the pretense of making something that's amazing, but as long as I can improve a little tiny bit from the original, That
Well, I
should
mean,
suffice.
it's a nice change of pace, and you're still drawing monsters, but you're broadening your repertoire of things that you do rather than just kind of drawing a static monster. You're drawing actual scenes and things like that.
Yeah. So just for a change every now and then.
Always good to diversify your portfolio.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Probably, you know, I probably should have colored the line art. Like, no. Whatever. So, it's fine. It's fine. So, let's define, or defy gravity. Gonna add darker layer. Oops. Pretty dark already. Hey, so are you gonna go watch Godzilla -1 when it comes out? I think it's in December, or November.
Go to Japan and watch it? Probably.
Well,
not.
it's not gonna come out to the theaters in the US.
I doubt it.
Really? So Shin Godzilla did not come out in theaters.
No, I don't believe so.
Let's see. Well, I'm gonna go. I guess, unless I'm sick.
Well, if you're in Japan, yeah, I definitely go and see it.
Oh, see, I don't know. Unfortunately, I think my son is too small. He's gonna freak out. That kind of movie. I don't want to handle cries in the night.
Yeah, he'd probably find it boring too, because it looks more serious and it's about like, historical Japan.
So he watches Godzilla actually, but I don't know if this one is gonna be.
Yeah, this one looks like it's more dramatic, which does not entice children.
Unfortunately.
But that's why I'm interested in it, personally.
Oh, yeah. Same. Looks pretty interesting, so. More. Alright. Here. Man, I'm sleepy. Sleepy. I've not decided, as I said before, what. Oh, thank you for following Cooper9080. If it was 3080, I would think it's a graphics card, but 3090, even better. I got a 3060, though. It's not too bad. Well, welcome.
9080 might be a future one. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah.
The RTX 9080.
It could be at some point. Who knows? But welcome. Feel free to join the chat if you would like. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Trying to figure out this little monstrosity. I should I should set up. Man, can I do it? Are you guys doing any remote duos? No, not at the moment. No, also because I suck at playing Master Duel. I actually find it extremely stressful. So I haven't been playing in months, to be honest.
We could play again, but we probably.
I'm not gonna play with you.
Starter decks or something.
Okay, we could do we could have a challenge like we play like starter decks from the show, the decks from like Kaiba or Yugi, and see who wins. But I don't know if they still work. If they're like how they actually work with the newer rules. Probably gonna be a little weird.
My decks were a little too competitive for Nemo. I think it frustrated.
Yeah, it's not. That's not a competition. A competition is when like both people participate.
It's like a slaughter.
I don't even know how to call it. It's just a shit show. At that point, it's just a show because I'm not really allowed to do anything. So what's the point of playing?
Nemo is the pig, and I'm taking him to the slaughterhouse to make.
It's just not. It just doesn't make sense for me to play a game like that. Because I don't play. I can't play. And if I'm playing a game, well, guess what? I want to play the game.
If you check out my YouTube channel, I have streams of Nemo and I playing. If you want to check those out.
No, don't.
He'll tell you not to watch because
I'm losing. I lost. Well, to be fair, I didn't even lose because I didn't do anything. Like, if I had any partake in the loss, then maybe. But I had no saying in that, so it's not even my fault if I lost.
I don't agree. I like competitions when I crush my enemies and everyone cries. Well, so do I, but Nemo's not my enemy. He's my friend. I don't want to crush him.
Yeah, if I play with someone, I would rather play. The only game I can reasonably play nowadays is, because I don't know Digimon obviously, and there is no digital version. I just like the cards. But the only game I can actually play nowadays is Magic, because it's the only one that's fair enough that allows you to be able to play, even if you don't have the exact. There is no unbeatable deck in Magic because of the resource system. So I think it's a fair game that I can play. But Yu-Gi-Oh is too toxic for me. Too toxic, really. It's not even fun. Like, even for me, because I'm always just doing the same thing over and over and over and over without thinking. If I have a good deck, like broken.
You know what we could do?
Yes. I mean, no.
You and I both have Tabletop Simulator, so we could scan the Digimon cards and do it digitally that way.
Oh, there is a way to do it. Actually, it's out there already.
People made that in Tabletop?
Yes, they made it.
Oh.
I don't know if it's it might be paid though, like a paid add-on or something.
Let me see.
I know there is because I read it. I looked for it. I know there is. I don't know how good it is. Obviously, it's not going to be as fancy as a game that's been, developed as a game by a company. You usually use it to test your card game ideas. Well, I have it because the good Chase here gifted it to me, so I only use it a little bit because I don't have much time. But I would like to make a card game one day, so I'm definitely going to use it to playtest that. It's actually a very nice game, or engine, whatever you want to call it. I like it. It's got a lot of potential. Just never delved into how it actually works that much. So
I don't know. There's an automated Digimon card game for Tabletop Simulator that you just download for free.
Oh, free?
Yeah, I mean you have to upload or download the cards from them, but I think they provide them all.
Mm-hmm. That would be very interesting to try then. Really interesting to try.
I actually had the app on my phone. There was when it first came out, there was an app that they released that lets you practice the game. And I played it quite a bit. It was pretty fun.
There was a Digimon app, official?
Yeah, but it was like a tutorial thing. It gave you 3 pre-constructed decks, and you could play them against the computer.
I see. Bring everything. So why is it blurring that much? It shouldn't blur that much.
Unless you and I buy the physical cards and then we use webcams and play through Zoom or something.
That sounds complicated. It sounds complicated to do. Anyhow, I actually started using the blur tool in Clip Studio. Now I can't stop using it because it's so damn useful.
Yeah, and I remember you told me not to do it too much.
Yeah, but I only use it to blur. I'm gonna go over these parts later, so I don't use it to get the final edges. I use it to even out the colors so that I can go over them later again. So it's actually pretty useful for that. I'm just literally it's like in oils. This is something I actually did in oils as well. That's probably why I tend to do it digitally too. I would take my brush and just brush over everything and then I would go back and define the various areas. I felt like it was melting the colors a little bit, so by blending them together, you actually get a nice effect.
It's just a habit for me because when I was younger, I would take PNGs of images, and if like they were improperly, edited, or like they had very jagged outlines from whenever they were cropped from or whatever, I would just blur them around the edges to get rid of the jaggedness.
That said, it's good to have a variety of edges, obviously. So it's not like everything needs to be blurry, but it's I use it as like kind of an intermediate step. At least that's what I did with the Pale Beast also. So with this color pencil brush that I made basically, I think it feels or it works pretty well, because it's kind of evening out the lines, and then I can go back and reestablish them, like with the color that I got, the new colors that I got by mixing. So it's not bad.
Yeah, these days I mostly focus on like taking the outlines, kind of shrinking them, and then getting rid of that, and then adding my own black outline around the. That's what I did with when I was doing the Pokemon Dungeon stuff. I would take the original Sugimori art, which was kind of low quality, and then I would get rid of the jaggedness around the edges, and then add a black outline just to get that stylistic effect.
Yeah, it works. The good thing here is that if you have lines like I do, like line art, if you blur it enough, obviously it's going to become less strong, but if you blur it enough, it kind of becomes a ridge, like an indentation. So from then it's easy to just either add it back if you need it, or simply use it as a dip in the surface, which is what I usually do. Like here, that's what I'm doing here, basically. So you can obviously add a further layer later to define whatever it is you need to define. So, not looking to zoom out. It's actually pretty decent. So, also, because these ones will require some, I guess, some radial blur or motion blur. The eyes obviously cannot stay like this because they are in motion. So I'm gonna have to apply some blur at some point. Probably a wise idea would have been to take the eyes and put them in a separate layer, which I can do later. That's what happens when you always work with the groups that are just feature and not the background, because I don't have to worry about it. Usually.
Oh God, I think I'm gonna take a shower after the stream.
Is it hot? Well, like, was it
no,
sweaty,
but I got that feeling like my skin feels kind of, it has that that sticky quality to it.
Yeah.
I'm not sticky, but that it has that feeling to it.
Yeah. I get it. Not pleasant. Not pleasant. This one, the way I'm rendering it in the colors it has, kind of make it look like an anime monster.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So it could be part of the original anime or something.
I don't know if Mabarrel ever appeared in the anime. Let's see. There's a lot of older cards that never did because, I mean, the card game predates the anime by a fair amount.
Right.
So a lot of the older ones especially never did.
That makes sense.
Actually, believe it or not, a lot of the cards that like Mabarrel and whatnot, those actually originated from video games before they were in the card game.
Oh, really? So there were video
Yeah.
games of Yu-Gi-Oh before the actual card game?
Yes.
So manga, games, card game, anime? That's the timeline?
Yeah. So there was a couple of games that weren't really tied to the show. Like
Oops.
there was the Capsule Monster game for that
Mhm.
was like the first Yu-Gi-Oh game, I think, was the Capsule Monster. And most of the monsters in that never appeared again except for like the Mystical Elf, I think, was in that
Mhm.
game. Let me Yeah, but I think the first Game Boy game that came out actually predated the card game.
I see. That is interesting. Never would have thought, honestly. My idea was that the manga came out first, and then the anime, and then the game, because that's what happened here. The card game came out after the anime. Oh, here in Italy, at least. I thought the anime. Well, I mean, it makes sense though that the anime was more of a way to advertise the game.
Okay, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Breed and Battle was the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Game released in July 23rd, 1998 for the PlayStation. And then after that was Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, the video game, for the Game Boy, published December 16th, 1998.
Let's see.
And that, of course, had some interesting rules to it.
Well, I guess yeah, they would probably made for the game.
It's actually very similar to Forbidden Memories. Like, there's no fusion monsters, but you can fusion summon something by playing two monsters on top of each other. So, like, you could play like a warrior with a fire monster to make flame swordsman and whatnot.
Oh no, I was about to say something that's probably not stream.
What, laying something on top of another?
Very appropriate. Fun fact, playing monsters in face-down defense position was a mechanic introduced by the Yu-Gi-Oh! Video game. I see.
Well, the original card game, the OCG, when it first released, had the rules were very kind of nebulous. Like, there was no tribute summoning, so if you had a blue eyes in your hand, you could just...
Yeah, I told me.
That was a rule introduced later when they realized how unfair that was.
Yeah, right. It's basically gambling. Like, oh, look, I've got this powerful card. At my first turn, I won the game. Yay! Although they later introduced mechanics that are pretty much the same, like equally unfair. So.
Well, I mean, at that point, Blue Eyes was clearly the strongest card in the game, and so it's like, if you don't have anything to counter that, you basically lose. Like, okay, I hope you have Raigeki, but in order to get Raigeki, you need to have the theater box of cards that they released, because that was the only release of Raigeki. So if you didn't go to the theater to see the movie and get Raigeki, you don't have a way to destroy Blue Eyes.
Oh well. That's unfortunate, but life is tough. So.
There's some interesting little things that happened during that time period, though, because like we talk about power creep today. The first year of Yu-Gi-Oh had so much power creep, right? Like, the most powerful 4-star monster at the beginning was Hitatsume Giant. Hitatsume was 4 stars, had 1200 attack, 1000 defense, something like that, and that was like the strongest card you could get. Which, I mean, nowadays it's like, that seems crazy. Who would think that's a good card? And then, like, with each set, like at one point, Celtic Guardian was the strongest monster in the game because he was 1400 attack, 1200 defense, so he could beat Hitatsume. And then that lasted for like 3 weeks, because then they introduced Rogue Doll, which was 4 stars and has 1500 attack. And then later that year, they introduced Gemini Elf, which Gemini Elf was 4-star and had 1900 attack. So it's like the first year had so much power creep.
That's pretty insane. The most powerful spells in the game came during the first sets.
Yeah. Pot of Greed.
Forever banned Pot of Greed.
Yeah, it is.
Oh well. That's how it would go for me, like if I were to make a game though. Because I would probably just realize later that some things don't work, so.
I mean, those were powerful cards when they came out. In some way, some of them are even more powerful. Like Pot of Greed. Pot of Greed is never going to come back because getting a +1 for free is like incredible these days. Because any one card in your deck these days can be a game winner for you. Because anything can create a combo that can lead to you getting the victory.
Yeah. I don't know if I like combos though. Like for me, that's basically reason why I don't play anymore, because it's really not about playing with strategy. There's no strategy. It's just learning the combination and then using it. So it's not funny for me.
No, Daniel, I'm talking about the OCG. Welcome, by the way. And the very first Yu-Gi-Oh card set that was released, it might have been Volume 1, but one of the other first ones was Starter Box theatrical release. So like there was a Yu-Gi-Oh movie produced by Toei, and that's where Blue Eyes White Dragon was first introduced, was in the starter box, and then you also got like Raigeki and whatnot out of that. And so like if you go to the movie, they would give you like this box, and there's all kinds of cool stuff in it. Like if you remember, there was like the star chips from the Yu-Gi-Oh anime when they're on the island, and you got the little star chips that you would put on your duelist ring or whatever to get into the Pegasus fight. And the starter box actually came with like little star fragments and things like that. It had like a life points calculator, a playmat, and a belt clip with a deck box.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty neat. It's a collector's item if you can still find it. But yeah, that's where the Blue Eyes White Dragon and a bunch of other cards were first introduced.
The Blue Eyes was not a thing before that?
No, I mean the game. That's the game itself had just come out, like the card game.
Yeah, but was it not a card from the anime? Sorry, the manga.
No, it was in the manga. Yeah,
okay,
it was in the manga. But Volume 1 came out in like February of 1999, and that's where what was the money card from that? I want to say, yeah, the first two cards that were ultra rares in Yu-Gi-Oh were Dark Magician and Gaia the Fierce Knight.
I remember that. Yeah,
So
Daniel, that's pretty much the same reason why. Now these days I don't even play Magic anymore because I don't have much time. But if I have to choose, I would play Magic, hands down, because at least I get a chance to play. Play the
Magic's
game.
way more balanced.
Yeah, like you don't need. It's also fun because you can actually come up with some combinations that still work and are pretty powerful. With Yu-Gi-Oh, it's pretty much impossible unless you. So there is just a selected number of ways a Yu-Gi-Oh set can work with. Like once they're figured out, it's pretty much impossible to win with anything else, which sucks. While with Magic, you can win with anything. You can just make your deck and win, even if it's not a super meta. Oh, this is gonna win. In fact, you got so many different decks in Magic because anything can be victorious if it's well crafted. If it works for you for your strategy. Right, that's why it's a better game than Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just hands down a better card game. Yu-Gi-Oh has more interesting cards sometimes, but as a game to play, it's definitely.
That Duel Masters never caught on though. I love Duel Masters so much.
No, I didn't play that. I like the cards, so.
It's a very fun. The Duel Masters is very similar to Magic, except a lot more streamlined.
Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate. really.
Of course, now when you look at the card art today, it sucks.
Yeah, things are a little more hectic now. A little more. Oh, hey, Yang Gear 96. Welcome to the chat. Just banned the best meta cards, and Yu-Gi-Oh is still great. I don't know. You would have like to ban whole mechanics. Like you would have to ban combos basically to make it playable. You have to put a limit to the amount of actions someone can perform in a turn. Because otherwise, it's literally just sitting and watching someone play. And given there are some decks in Magic that do the same thing, but it's not quite as much. You still have resources, so you have to build it up, right? It's not like in Yu-Gi-Oh where, well, I got a nice first hand, so whoever goes first wins. At that point,
Yu-Gi-Oh just has a lot of structural issues. Just in terms of pure game design, it wasn't very well thought out when it was first introduced because they didn't have like set mechanics when they first created it, and that's why they've kind of done ad hoc since then. So I don't know, there's just a lot of structural issues with Yu-Gi-Oh that would have to be changed.
I say Yu-Gi-Oh is not a well-designed game. It's beating a dead dog. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, Matthews. Earlier Magic could get pretty dumb, but modern is nuts. But I played Commander. I never played Commander.
I mean, realistically, Yu-Gi-Oh was just a game that they introduced in the manga, and it was never meant to be something more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. To be fair to absolutely. It's not like I'm trying to attack the creator.
Because that's what the original manga was all about, right? There were different games that you played, and that was the point. Yu-Gi-Oh is the king of games.
Yeah.
So Yu-Gi would like punish people by forcing them to play certain games, and the card game was just one of the different games that he would play. And now, of course, these days we're all punished if we play Yu-Gi-Oh. So
it became everyone's punishment. So. You find out Kazuki Takahashi did not die. He just wanted to escape the fame of having created Yu-Gi-Oh. He's just hiding somewhere like in Alaska with Hitler.
I wonder if anyone believes that. Does anyone think that Takahashi's death is is a conspiracy?
Who knows? The mighty did not underestimate people, but underestimate. Never knows.
There might be some Japanese people that believe that.
Absolutely.
They believe plenty of crazy things.
Did you see the message I sent you earlier?
Yeah, about the
the patch.
The wall stain.
That guy was not Japanese, but like, seriously? Like, are you serious?
Well, the person you were referencing, right, was, but the guy who responded to you wasn't, right?
What do you mean?
Because you said like the humanity patch looks like a dragon. It must be because the spirit of a dragon dwells here.
That's what they told me.
Believe.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. But that guy said, well, it's still better than modern secularism, and maybe there is a grain of truth. And that's like, in what? It's a stain of mold or whatever, or humidity. Like, how is that a spirit of a dragon? Like, please, do not enable this kind of things. Let's try to be grounded for a moment. I'm not even saying, don't believe in spirits or stuff like that. Like, I'm saying don't make it so trivial. If you want to believe in spirits and whatnot, at least have some kind of valid reason for that. Like, have a near-death experience or whatever you want, not a stain of mold or humidity.
Or separate those beliefs from the rational part of your brain, which can logically explain these things.
Because that would be like, that guy, He could have said, you could have stopped, if he stopped in the first part, like, well, it's still better than modern secularism. Like, okay, well, fair enough. But if you come to me and then say, well, maybe there's some grain of truth in that, like, no, there isn't. Like, what?
No.
It's just okay. Well, then I see a dragon in the clouds. It's got to be the spirit of a dragon flying around. No, it's not. Please.
Well, okay, but that's an unfalsifiable belief, and the reality is you don't need to resort to those explanations because there's actual physical explanations we can give that are demonstrable, that are testable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, okay, if you want to believe that, that's fine, but there's an actual logical, rational explanation for this. You don't need to resort to that.
Commander is awesome. You pick a legendary creature as your commander and build a 100-card singleton of cards that can only share their colors. I'm gonna have to pick it up at some point. Isn't all mold dragon spirits? No. Hello, Ord Kun. Oh God, how do you read that? Ord Kunstler. Welcome. Sorry if I butchered your name. Sorry for the idiot. It's coming out pretty well.
Sorry if Nemo called you an offensive name by reading your name. You coot.
Yeah, I have no idea. Hopefully not. But damn it, mosquito. They should release Ojama Yellow as a dual partner in Master Duel. What do you think, Chase?
For like an Ojama deck, I guess. Sure, for anyone that likes Ojamas.
I don't. It's like, is it like those little weird kind of pepper looking things?
Well, they have like thongs on or whatever.
Yeah, it's like those little weird creatures, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I always found them a little bit unsettling.
they are a little unsettling. I guess they're the soul of the party in Japan, though. They look very much like something the Japanese person could like. So very much.
Disgusting with big lips and wearing little clothing and acting funny.
Yeah, they remind me of something. I'm not sure for what. Get the feeling that there's something that kind of looks like that. Anyway, whatever. I think we talked about it yesterday, and I said Ojama means disturbance. Ojama shimasu.
Well, yeah, there's like a phrase, like Ojama Mishimasu.
Yeah, Ojama shimasu means yeah, sorry, I'm disturbing.
Like sorry for disturbing you or something.
Jama is more like being in the way, though. Because shitsure shimasu is like sorry for disturbing. It's what you say when you leave someone, like a conversation, or when you enter a room.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, though, yeah, I guess it's like sorry, I'm being in the way. I guess it is the whole point. Yeah, it looks like it might as well be the whole point, being, ugly and disgusting.
I looked it up, and apparently Ojama is the nickname of Hideo Kojima. We'll call him Ojama.
Wow. What about pajamas? Pyjamas.
Ojama pajamas.
Pajama.
I believe that's a card.
Pajama.
Yeah, there is a card called Ojama Pajama. Well, they're having a pajama party together.
Bruh. You know what? I think I'm considering just keeping the blackness here. I'm gonna reintroduce some of the dark here in the back because reasons. Like it. Better style. I did that. Like much like I did for the Akihiron. I think these cards benefit from a heavy line art versus not.
Yeah.
If I don't, it becomes a little too realistic. It's kind of pointless.
I mean, stylistically, I prefer the darker outlines.
They're Yu-Gi-Oh cards. These are not like my monsters. Also, because in any case, my monsters do have an out. It's like, what do you have? No, but I do want to keep reintroducing the black, like to. Where's the Emperor of Cheese when he's needed? He always talks about anchoring the blacks, and that's what I'm doing here. Anchor my blacks. I want to know where the black point is so that I can judge the contrast in the whole picture, which I can't do if I have no black. Because everything starts to become a little muddy when you have no black point, which you can do, but you have to know how to use your values well.
Who was that one guy in the Pokemon cards that was just a real human dressed in a Mickey Mouse costume? That was Imakuni. He was actually like part of the marketing campaign for Pokemon. I believe his full name is like Tomoaki Imakuni, something like that. And they made a card with him in it.
Bruh. Brush.
There's a Pokemon card that's Pikachu dressed as Mario, and it's worth a lot of money if you have it.
Hey, that's copyright infringement. Well, not really.
Nintendo owns both of them.
I was about to say, not really. It would be if it wasn't all crap-tando. A Yakuza Tando.
Although I don't know to what extent, because there's also the Pokemon Company that operates independently from Nintendo. So the nature of the relationship is a little bit strange as compared to like other Nintendo properties.
Yeah.
I don't know how much creative control Nintendo as the company itself has over the direction of Pokemon as a product, other than that they're the publisher.
I have no idea.
Because Pokemon as a media company itself is a different subject.
They're a bunch of idiots. They're not very wise people, if anything. What's going on?
They're a bunch of idiots with lots of money, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, but most of the people with a lot of money are a bunch of idiots. Actually, sadly. Fun fact. Not sure how they got the money, but I guess being an idiot pays off more than being smart. I don't know many smart people who are actually, or many famous people who are actually smart. Like smart as in good people smart, not smart as in, oh, I've got a big brain. You can say Elon Musk is pretty smart in that sense. Even though he's got what's it called? What's the name of that? Autistic. He's pretty smart anyway. That's under. He is smart. So I'm talking about actual,
Most smart people are very erratic, though.
Their behavior.
There's a certain we talked about threshold that when you reach, that you start to have increasingly odd behaviors. Doesn't mean you're not smart, but I mean like people like Von Neumann reading books while driving, tons of tickets over it. People are just like that.
What a big brain when you're a big bank account, right? The richest man in the world thought we could make trains go faster by sucking the air out of a tunnel.
The Hyperloop was always just ridiculous.
Wasn't it also the name of a movie? Pretty sure it was. Or something like that.
I know there's a movie called Looper.
No. There's something about Hyperloop. What is it though? I'm called now. I'm an old lady. I'm an old lady. We zoom out. I mean, almost good, apart from the complete lack of rendering in the eyeballs. The eyeballs. Yeah. In retrospective, I should have probably used more.
Yeah, this does seem like something that like a scene from an anime. Like the
It does.
characters,
It does
this
actually.
creature,
That was
and
completely
they all have to run
unintentional.
away. They all have to run away as he's spitting eyeballs at them.
Completely unintentional. Yeah. Otherwise, they bump into it. I'm not sure about the movie, but I knew Nazis already tried many ideas like that before Elon invented it. I see. You gotta give it to the man though. He's funny sometimes. whatever kind of like political opinion one might have about Elon Musk, he sure does say things like he says what he wants to say, basically. Like when he went into Twitter with Sync, that was pretty funny for me. He's certainly he's got a very, what do you say, a kind of showman attitude.
Sure.
It's entertaining at times.
You kind of
And
need that to be successful.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. You probably can't do it if you're not. You cannot make it if you're not a little bit like that, like weird.
You gotta have an ego, and you have to be able to sell yourself.
Yeah. That's why I will never be famous. I don't have an ego. Look at how humble I am. So humble.
I know, I'm a very humble person, so I'm very kind and compassionate, and everyone should like me.
Never gonna be famous. That reality of things. Said reality.
For anyone listening that doesn't know me, I'm being sarcastic. I'm a total asshole.
We are joking. We are joking. Even though the jokes I tell are apparently not funny. This is what I'm told from Japan. Or in Japan.
About your wife.
Also.
Did you say that before, that she complained that you're not funny or whatever?
Yeah. My wife doesn't watch my streams because I'm not funny.
To be fair, what does a Japanese woman consider to be funny?
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, Japanese people have zero. It's funny because no pun intended, but it's funny that they make some stuff, like some anime, that are actually pretty funny, but they're not funny in Japan. So they're not considered funny by them.
Well, as far as I could tell, the stuff that they find funny is like very juvenile, slapstick.
It's very silly, yeah.
Yeah.
So like stuff like Ranma. I think the comical aspects of Ranma One Half is really comical. It's really funny. I like it a lot. It makes me laugh a lot.
Great.
But Japanese people don't like it. Like, my wife doesn't like it. She says, like, why did they suddenly turn into chicken? Like, well, it's a joke.
Point. It's supposed to be absurd.
It is. It's funny because it's absurd, but they don't get it. They usually don't get it. So some smart people tend to do that themselves. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as I can tell, they're very literally minded and surface level. Like, things have to be very obvious to them to find it funny.
Oh.
And that's the humor I hate the most.
Same.
I like stuff that's very subtle and
Yeah. Now you could argue that I don't get all of the humor like that you say because my language, I guess. English is not my primary language, but trust me, in my own language, I can't miss a joke. I'm usually the one making jokes that are subtle and stuff like that. I tend to make people laugh a lot here, so I don't think it's my problem.
well, that's
That's why like old Simpsons was great, because there's tons of subtle jokes.
Oh
that are
yeah.
just like
Well,
that are just
even
background
non-verbal
details.
though, like when they
Yeah.
go to the Duff, I probably mentioned this already. When they go to the Duff factory, and it's like the clerk there, whatever, the guy the guide basically was showing them the factory. He's like, well, here's where we make Duff. We have a Duff Light, Duff Super, and Duff Regular. And it's like it pans out, and you see they all come from the same pipe. So that's a genius move, in my opinion. It's so funny.
Well, one of the more famous jokes that I still get a kick out of from Simpsons is the when they're going into the store and the store has the sign that says Chuck's Feed and Seed, and then under it says formerly Chuck's. So like the joke is, okay, it's called Sneed's Feed and Seed, right? Formerly Chuck's. So when Chuck ran it, it was, yeah.
I like nonsense comedy too. As Orku. Can I call you Orku? It's shorter, easier for me.
Ort.
Orc. I can call you Orc. Orc is cool. Nonsense humor don't work with everybody. In fact, humor is very subjective. I know, but what I'm arguing is that the things that make a lot of Japanese people laugh, from what I can tell, like giving what is famous in Japan, is very slapstick comedy. Like just that. They don't go. They cannot appreciate subtlety. Not just subtlety, like something you have to think about, basically. From the experience I had, at least, from the people I know, I've not met a single Japanese person. I've met a lot of Japanese people, and they just don't find any fun in something they have to think about.
It's very childish kind of humor.
Like, but
like,
this is. Mhm.
It's not like witty, well-constructed jokes or things like that, or situational comedy.
Yeah, unless it's something that's physically, like painful. Probably not gonna get it.
But
and there's
Japanese
a lot of,
comedy
I don't know,
can
I
be
just,
funny, but it can be funny when they embrace the absurd.
yeah,
which
I like a
people
lot
don't.
of, as I said, like a lot of the anime I watched as a kid, they were super funny, and they still are funny for me, but they're not considered funny in Japan. Like when I ask, when we tried even watching things together, like, well, why is that funny? Well, Japanese people made it. This is a Japanese product. Why didn't you find it funny? I don't know. I find it funny. I
Well,
guess it's not a type of comedy that's for average people. Work is fine. Okay.
I think I mentioned this before, but I was watching like a variety show on YouTube one time of like Japanese comedy,
Mhm.
and there was like one segment that made me laugh, which is like there are two guys smoking in a glass room. Like they have those little partition rooms where you can go in and smoke if you need
Yeah.
to. And as the two guys are just standing there talking, like 100 people come walking down the hallway, and they all
yeah.
enter into the
Yeah.
glass room, and they just start smoking all at once, and the entire thing is just billowing with smoke, and they have to quickly leave the room because they're coughing and they can't handle it anymore. Like that's funny, just because it's absurd. The idea that 100 people will come in at the same time and
Yeah,
just
right.
all start smoking at once. It fucking cause a fire hazard in the building.
Yeah, you don't often see that nowadays. Yeah, even shows that are maybe popular here, like Takeshi's Castle, or all the ones legitimately will, or people get hurt, but some of them were actually pretty funny and stupid. They're not really famous anymore. That was before. I'm trying to think Japanese people or shows I thought were hilarious, and I can only think of Joji. I don't know what Joji is. You know what it is, Chase?
Nope.
Yes, basically yes, Matthews. Like, it's gotta be obvious when you have to laugh, because otherwise they don't understand when they have to do it.
Mhm.
And it basically defeats the purpose. Because the way I make people laugh usually is when I say something that's extremely serious, but it's completely out of place. And that's why it's funny. I don't know what I said the other day, but my mom started laughing. She was actually about to choke because I said something so stupid. I was watching TV and they said something ridiculous at the news, and I repeated it in a way that was serious but made no sense at all. And I find that to be the most interesting type of fun
Yeah.
and comedy, because it's like, well, this makes no sense, but you're saying it so seriously that it's funny.
I've made my mom cry of laughter telling her about some of the dreams I've had. Especially, I had a dream about my brother that was incredibly funny to the point that she was like keeling over because she couldn't like stand. She was
Yeah.
laughing so.
And that happens to me all the time in my language mainly, but also not like sometimes in English, but not in Japan. In Japan, I'm constantly told that I'm not funny. And I don't understand what fun is because I don't laugh when I see someone eating a shoe. and doing like, oh, and feeling like gagging. Like, why is that funny? I don't know. No.
Well, a lot of the shows also have like panels, right? So it's like they show the panel's reaction to things, and they're
Yeah,
laughing.
those are the worst.
That's like a signal for the audience to laugh. Is seeing
Pretty much,
other
yeah.
people laugh. And it's like a way of manipulating the audience to laugh along with it. You're
The thing
supposed to
is-
find this funny. Please laugh.
Yeah, but I don't. I've not met a single foreigner there, even just by text, like reading of people that live there, that appreciates reaction bubbles. Nobody does. I don't know about Japanese people. They just don't mind because they're used to it. But I don't want my kids to get used to it because that's not normal. Like, why would I have to, basically, what's the word? Why do I have to delegate the decision of laughing to someone else?
Well, yeah.
That's
I mean,
just the point.
I kind of hate reaction content in general, like especially on YouTube as well, because it feels like just so low effort and low quality. It's like,
Ooh.
I'm gonna watch other videos and I'm gonna laugh or react to it, and it's like, I don't need to hear your reaction to this. I can watch.
I
it
can
for
have
myself
mine,
on
right?
YouTube.
That's the point. I can just decide how I want to rate. I might be curious in someone's opinion if I know the person, but like, hey, what do you think of this? But it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna watch this person's video, so I don't have to do anything. And my whole video is gonna be me watching
yeah.
another person producing content. Like,
I enjoy like critique and analysis,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. If you're just watching and saying, "Oh wow, that was good," it's like, well, thanks for offering so much to the conversation.
Oh yeah. Okay, this is not looking too bad. Looking bad. I should probably work on the eyes a
Man.
little bit. Not gonna finish it today.
Sometimes I feel like our conversations are rabbit holes because I have no idea how we got to this subject.
I don't know. We must have got here somehow. I believe. I'm not sure how. If you were to ask me how we got here, we were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh at some point. I think.
We went from Yu-Gi-Oh to Elon Musk to talking about like Japanese comedy shows.
Oh well. Fine.
But who cares?
It's all good. It's good. Look at this poor eye. Actually, I'm probably gonna reduce it even more. Look at the poor.
Ojama, Japan, bad sense of humor. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I believe that's a good reconstruction. It's gotta be a good reconstruction of that. You know what just sucks about all this? Most people that are here now will not be able to join when I stream from Japan because it's gonna be a completely different time.
Well, I guess we'll have a completely different audience then.
Yeah. That really
Maybe, like-
sucks. That's what I hate about the whole going back and forth thing, that I can't keep doing things at the... I mean, I could, but this would be like the deep night, so I would get zero sleep, and then my kids get up.
Well, maybe people like Student and Beasto or whatever show up again.
Yeah, probably. That's possible, yeah. Well, I hope some of you guys can still make it. It's gonna be around 2 p.m. CET. 2 or 3. It's gonna change when the time changes, obviously. But I don't know, it sucks. I don't like having to do this because it's sad. I like to do things at the same time every single day. So. which is gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same for me, roughly, but it's not gonna be for you. So I hate to be the one that causes this. Whatever. I'm sneezing. I don't know if you heard that.
Or I said, bless you.
Now I'm gonna have to obviously darken this eyeball. This eyeball is really not dark enough. She keeps sneezing. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I hope not. It's pretty loud.
I can vaguely hear it.
Yeah. It's funny because this house is not that loud as a home, but this room here is at the end of the corridor, so every other sound in the room gets kind of channeled and funneled towards this room. So it becomes kind of annoying sometimes because you get all the sounds from the house here. So if there's someone in the other room and talking loud or watching TV at a higher volume, I hear it here because of how the house is made. Kinda sucks. But oh well. There are worse ways to die than by sound. If I like this one specific eyeball. I don't know if I do.
My dog had a piece of fuzz on his nose, and I was trying to get it off. And he was eating like a chewy as I was doing it, and he kept running away because he thought I was trying to steal his chewy and not get the fuzz off his nose.
We should tell him and reassure him. I'm sure he will understand. Or not.
I do, and he still looks at me like I'm going to steal it. He's like, I don't trust you. This is
Oh,
mine.
your dog doesn't trust you.
He trusts me, but he trusts food more than people, so...
I guess that's fair. Fair enough. Oh man, I hope they're gonna have some decent movie to watch on the plane, because I don't know what I'm gonna do for 14 hours straight.
That's
Flight.
hell.
14 hours without stop is a freaking hell. It used to be much less, but now we cannot fly over Russia, so thank you, Russia, for making my life.
Oh
a
yeah,
hell.
I know Filthy Frank. I didn't realize I was the same person.
That guy. I do know who it is. The
That's
guy
like
with the
that wears a
hat.
pink bodysuit, and he has like the little slit around his face, and he's kind of filthy.
Well, I don't know if it's the same guy, but he's also used or called like that, like a guy with like a rapper hat.
Yeah.
That guy.
And
Right?
he's in that meme, the time to stop meme. He's the guy holding the giant clock, and he says it's time to stop.
Yeah.
That's the same guy.
Oh man. Okay. Read this. Heck out of this. The Concho video kills me every time. You know I hate Concho.
Oh, have you ever watched his how to pick up women using Japanese videos?
No.
Those are so funny. Oh, especially when you watch. So I just said I hate reaction videos, but watching Japanese women watch his tips and reacting to it is hilarious.
Okay, that's a different thing. That's different because you want to be entertained by the reaction of the person because
Well,
it's
yeah,
uncanny.
because what he's saying is ridiculous. He's telling you Japanese, but like the Japanese is telling you is like, if you want to get women, go up to women in Japan and say, "Hey, you have a nice pussy" or whatever.
And
The Japanese women are watching this and they just like hold their hand over their mouth and say, "Do not do this."
bruh. Bruh. I'm not Filthy Frank, so that's good.
Yeah, you're not filthy, but you might watch some of his videos and take some tips when you go to Japan and talk to your wife.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna make me even more popular than I am now.
His Japanese pickup lines.
Does he live in Japan or something? Or he's just making fun of weebs?
No, he's definitely done videos in Japan.
Okay. And you wonder why Japanese people hate foreigners.
Well, he was born in Japan. I don't know if he's still living there now.
Man. In any case, I was about to say, I forbid my kids to do kancho, and if one of my kids does kancho, I'm gonna punish them. It's a stupid thing to do. It's harassment, basically. Like, it is. So, I hate kancho so much. I basically forbid my kids from doing anything that's Japanese intensive. Like, that's actually very traditional Japanese.
You want your Japanese children to be as little Japanese as possible.
Yes, I want my Japanese kids to be as little Japanese as they possibly can. So, which is legitimate for me, I guess, because I'm not Japanese. Fair enough. Once you get to know Japanese people for real, probably gonna think the same as I think.
I don't know if you know this, but like we kind of have something similar. It's not as bad, but in like English countries, we have something called goosing. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Where it's like you take the tips of your fingers and thumb and you like you're imitating a goose bite, and you go up and grab someone's butt with like the tips of your fingers and thumb. Like in a biting
No.
motion.
No, never seen. Still, I probably wouldn't want my kids to do something like that. I know there's so much man, I'm gonna sound like some kind of bigot, but there's so much maniac attitude in Japan that I really don't want my kids to pick that up.
With regards to like what?
Relationship
Sexual
between
behaviors?
human beings.
Yeah.
It's really
Are
too
you-
much to it.
Are you saying there's a lot of perverts in Japan? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's pretty obvious. Should be pretty obvious to anyone. Anyway,
I had no
yes, there
idea.
are lots of perverts. These eyeballs are not so much balls anymore. Hold on. You better fork. Actually, that's what I do. No kidding. No kidding. I literally tell them they have to use the fork. And they cannot use chopsticks. Unless there's no other way to eat something. No other way, like, unless it's inconvenient to use the fork. Like, well, I've got these, grains of rice that are left there. Okay, well, take the damn chopsticks and finish them. But on average, yeah, I absolutely push for the fork. On everything. I push for the fork and spoon and English and home, because it's the only way I can hopefully have some kind of relationship with them, which entails talking and them thinking with their head. I think for posters, things are funny. I mean, yeah, it obviously is funny to watch if someone if someone does something incredibly dumb like that. You want to know, okay, what's the consequences of, without doing it, you want to know what the consequence of doing something incredibly stupid is, right? So it's got an educational value to a degree.
I mean, it's funny when people are being socially weird or awkward for comedic purposes. It's different when they're doing it because it's just how they are.
color the head. Probably look much better if I were to use the right colors at the right time, but I like to experiment a little bit. This does not happen. It doesn't happen. Definitely. Okay, I read that. I might just stop here for this because it's gonna take way longer to actually finish rendering it. I think I've taken it to a decent state though. A decent state where I'm not thinking, oh man, this sucks. I think it only partially sucks, but there's nothing good about it. I'm gonna have to go back with the circles, with actual circles, and redraw the eyeballs. But it doesn't, like, I zoom out and I put it in a card template or something.
Looks good.
Yeah, like I think the immediate read is pretty decent for what it was initially. So if we take this, I want to rotate it. To take the original one, I think it is at least some kind of improvement. Mine looks a little. It looks like from an anime, obviously, because of the speed lines also. That is fine.
Well, that's appropriate for the action.
Yeah. I could even put more, like if I wanted to, I could duplicate this and come here. Come on top. Somewhere or here. And I could. All too much, but I could even do something like, if I really wanted to, you know, exaggerate the effect. I don't know, or something even more dramatic like that. That looks a little more like Yu-Gi-Oh, because Yu-Gi-Oh tends to have these kind of insane contrast sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
It's something like this could work, probably, but I'm not gonna do it now. I'll see what to do later eventually. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna stop here. Also, gotta eat something because I'm hungry. Thank you everyone for being here. Obviously, thank you Chase for the help. Thank you Daniel Matthews and everyone else who is new in the chat. Let me go back and read. Well, first Orc was the last one talking, and then there was someone else who chatted before, and it's Yanggear96, and then there was someone else. Yeah, Coopert for following on Twitch. So thank you very much. I'm not really sure what we're gonna do tomorrow. Might do another one of these, because in any case it's one of the last streams at this time. And then on Saturday we're gonna play Final Fantasy VII. So yes, we will close it here for today with this insane card showing, and we will be back tomorrow with another awesome stream.